What is up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Total Warhammer. My name is Splattercat. Happy to have you here today as we hang out for a little while. And actually, it's been a while since I've played this campaign. It's been about a week and a half since I booted this one up. I take a look at the maps for about 20 minutes before I start my playthroughs again, and we actually have a pretty decent problem in front of us. So as far as I can tell, we have more or less unified or allowed all the other factions of the orcs to be wiped out. A reasonably decent call would be to try to confederate the Bloody Spears right now, because that would give us a pretty good land grab. It'd make us all right. We're already in a military relationship with them, I think. Military relationship is just a relationship that's very, very militant. That's all. It's right there in the word. Like, we're friends with them, but, like, we'll also stab you if you get in our way. You know what I mean? Orcish. I guess that's the policy, isn't it? When we do orcish politics and all that kind of stuff. I think it's the end of our turn. I actually don't think we have much going on. If you need a synopsis of what's going on in this playthrough, we've got one guy down here raiding, trying to gain us a little bit of cash per turn. We got another army up here babysitting just in case they decide to rebel. We actually just took Boyz to Waaagh as well. My suggestion would be... I don't need that right there. Instead, yeah, what I really need is the Camp Ruckus. Like, I need to make sure that we have a lot of order kind of being thrown around in this area, because if I don't, it is going to come back to bite us later on. Now, our public order seems to be pretty good in most locations, and the general overall global global political situation, I'm not used to using these words in a series. I don't play games like Hearts of Iron and stuff like that, so this is all complicated to me. We have Karak Azul over here. Karak Azul, if they confederate... Actually, I think Karak Azul holds like the entire map, which is really kind of a weird thing, isn't it? This has never happened in any of my game maps before. So at this point, I've played a lot of campaigns. I've played at least one campaign through with every single faction at this point, excluding. I haven't played as the... Yeah, I haven't played as the Empire yet. But I've pretty much played as everybody else. In my Dwarf campaign, I basically just stomped everybody on the map. The Dwarves are definitely a considerably powerful faction that needs to be dealt with, and unfortunately, we've allowed one of them to grow unchecked, which is all kinds of trouble. We should have checked them at some point. If not checkmated them at some point, it probably would have made things easier. Now, I don't know. Let's see how open the Bloody Spears are to a confederation. You little gits want to join a confederation? Maybe, possibly. Oh, really? They accepted. And so the Greenskins and the Bloody Spears have joined sides. This should actually help us out pretty considerably. So everything... Cool. This may have been a bad choice, or it may have been a good choice, but confederating all the remaining orcish factions is probably the best way for us to consolidate our rule and make sure that when Karak 8 Peaks comes flooding in the gates and starts trying to take us out, that we've actually got the manpower in order to stop them. Now, the Battle of Crooked Fang Fort took place right here with 3,000 casualties. I may draw them back. Well, we're going to have to pass a turn anyways. Oh, we have a commandment for the rib peaks. Ribs. Ribs are delicious. I got a friend who, like, makes the best ribs. His family, they're like rib chefs. Like, if you find out his family is barbecuing, then you are asking to hang out very, very soon and be like, hey, can we hang out? I don't know what you've all built over here. This is the other part about confederating, is that you can never quite tell what they've built in all of their territories. What's that going to be from? Buildings, events, extorted income, corruption. I'm hoping that's not permanent. I would hate to have to slap down... a whole bunch of, like, boss tents around here. I would prefer not to do it. We are, however, face to face with what appears to be some pretty serious vampiric corruption, too. And you guys ain't got no... Wow, okay. Doesn't really have... We've got an extra hero right here who looks like he's level 1. That's pretty bad as well. It looks like they've been getting kind of the dog end of the fighting when it comes to fighting up to the north. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the Confederated territories and hopefully fight pretty efficiently down here. I don't know if it's exactly going to go down the way that I want, but we do have to concern ourselves with the overall fightiness of our troops. Now, his fightiness is on the way up, and if we actually want to make a dent in the Karak area, we're going to need a Waaagh. We're going to need a Waaagh pretty badly. Yeah. I don't know if I should attack this area first or if I should go after this area. I'm thinking we sweep, and so we either go after the 8 Peaks region or we go after the Black Iron Mine region. And if we can hit these one by one and kind of expand into this area, we might be able to do something with it. But, oh, that's right, I had the... What I can do is I can click on this, too, and it'll take me up here to give a commandment. So you guys take a Camp Ruckus, please. I need you guys to have as much civic order as possible. At least as is possible for orcs. I mean, what else can you say about it? So we have dwarfish agents on their way in. We also have a bunch of vampire lords raiding us right now. I may try to sue for peace on them. They are not a big faction. I don't think they're going to put up that amazing of a fight. It looks like they're pretty much getting steamrolled. Let's see. Greenskins of another tribe have begged us to take their enemy's territory, swearing fealty if we succeed. Capture and occupy a settlement. Stealing from the dwarves really winds them up. Let's loot their lands. And so, Kara's Asgal. That's a provincial capital, though. I don't know if I want to hit that right now. That's going to take me a considerable amount of effort to get rid of. We have an enemy agent right there. He's only level 8. This place has walls on it, huh? Let me see if I can sue for peace with the vampire lords real fast. Doesn't look like they're down with it. So we should do then with some of this cash is we need to raise another army. He's got Goblin Spider Rider archers, which are really, really powerful. Never underestimate horsebacked archers in this game. Like, holy shit, they're good. What we need to do then is we will come down here and we will fight with Heinrich Kemmler at some point, although he's got a pretty big army right there. I'm sorry, a pretty tiny army. Let's maybe... Apparently it's going to take a while to get the big uns together. So let's get a solid... Let's get a solid collection of boys over here. It's going to be expensive, and right now we don't really have the money to handle a lot of this stuff. But I think it's going to have to happen either way, and that leaves us with Karaz. Okay, so we still got other things we got to handle too. That place is going to be fairly armored when it comes to attacking it, though. Down here, our armory is recovering. I would suggest taking them up this way, and we'll start another raiding group in this little area right here. That'll make us some money. After they get themselves nice and replenished, we got to get his fightiness back up before it all falls off. That's just how it is. It's a little bit like leprosy. Fightiness is like leprosy. If you don't see to it, it's gonna fall off. And when it falls off, it's gonna suck. So let's get his fightiness up by raiding Dringo Rakas, actually. On this side, we got a couple of agents coming after us. They're actually in our territory, though. Alright, we'll send him off that way. This might get ugly. I actually think we're probably about to fight a really, really savage war with the dwarves. It's about to get really, really ugly for us. Normally, you don't want to allow a faction to consolidate like this, and allowing them to do so has been a large mistake.
Speak quick, 'cause you caught me.
They want a defensive alliance, and they're at war with the same factions we are. Absolutely, let's go ahead and take it. It may also be wise to confederate them on top of everything. He wants me to get some siege engines, and I'll get artillery focus, which should apparently give units more artillery XP. Let's go ahead and try and assassinate him. We've only got a 28% chance. Sindri! He's level 22. So this could definitely be difficult. We'll go ahead and give it a try. I can't guarantee any modicum of success here, but... a critical failure. He's been wounded in the attempt. Of course he has. Fantastic. This is why I don't play XCOM. I'm not fielding anybody. Mine just got killed. How come I can't get another one? Ugh. Got problems. Let's go hit Dringo Rakas because we got to keep our fightiness up. This place can be easily auto-resolved because we don't really need to fight this battle. So that should be simple enough. We'll start taking some of these random little territories over here. That'll help out with the fightiness. My goal in all this is to bring a Waaagh around. We can sack it for 9,000 gold, which I think is probably smart. Let's go ahead and take the 9,000 because I would rather have that. We've sacked a settlement. That gives us 1,200 more. We now have enough money in the coffers to start really actively recruiting and making things better for ourselves. If I put a raiding camp right here inside my own territory, like, how does that affect me? Because technically I'd be stealing my own cash, wouldn't I? We definitely need to take Karak. He's got a couple more turns, so how long is this going to take for them to replenish? It's going to take them 5 to replenish. It may be quicker. He can't recruit right here, I guess. Trying to decide if Varenka Hills... We've already got the shiny bit box, and yes, we do need more cash. Cash would be absolutely fantastic. As well as a larger garrison. A boss tent wouldn't be something that I would turn down either, considering our current predicament with orderliness among our orcish hordes. I'll probably hit Spike Peak next, just to see if I can get myself a Waaagh rockin'. If we can get a Waaagh, I'll take it, and essentially we'll storm our way through all of this with the Waaagh if we can make it last, and that'll allow us to capture a pretty solid grouping of the enemy's territories. Let's go ahead and keep working on our orderliness, and we'll keep getting our cash up. Azag the Slaughterer has got himself a level up, so we will start working on that. We can make his... The boys are good. Savages, probably reasonably decent. We've got Bellower, we've got Ard Lads. Oh, that's not too bad. That'll make my cavalry... I'm going to keep working on making him a good combatant. Never underestimate the power of heroes in this game. They are actually pretty damn good. We're going to suffer a little bit because they have agents now that are basically running unchecked. This fight is absolutely not going to go well. So it looks like we've taken a defeat over there. I'm not even entirely sure what he just attacked. I think it was just like a little garrison force or something. I don't know. This is one of the problems with being a Confederate, is that when you confederate an incorporated territory, you incorporate a territory. Essentially, weird thing is, Azeg's armor is all right. It's got spikes in the right places, the odd skull here and there, and is decorated with the crusted blood of countless broken enemies. But it's missing something that Azeg can't quite put his finger on it. He summons the shamans to demand an answer. Let's have an orc shaman. Okay, so it wants me to summon an orc shaman as a general, I think. We've almost got enough fightiness to make this happen. I think we're going to have to use the underway to go over there. Yeah. Let's traverse the underway, and I'm going to raid this place on the next turn, in the hopes that that'll get us up to Waaagh territory with regards to our fightiness. He's got many, many turns until he's ready to go. Just go back to Varenka Hills and put a lid on this. Make sure that they stay orderly, because everybody else appears to be doing alright. With Varenka Hills, we could probably even that out a little bit better by making the boss's hut a little bit larger. With the growth and replenishment and the casualty rate, I don't know if this is a worthwhile thing to put in all of my areas. I don't know if that's something that I should be doing. We've also got Baraz de Waaagh. Oh, I never rebuilt it. Okay, so let's rebuild that too, so that this is now territory that we may call our own, that we may cuddle it in the most orky of ways. Orcs are big on cuddling, but only behind closed doors. That's a Warhammer fact. You can look it up on the wiki right now, and I bet you will find it. Just Control F, cuddling. I'm just going to let them do what they're going to do up in Zufbar, because I'm really kind of powerless to stop it at the moment anyways. Like, what am I going to do, you know? I could try to raise an army up there and just hope it works out. Or we can wait a little bit and just assume things are going to be okay. Let's get our raid on here. Does that get us up to Waaagh territory? Fightiness reaches 80. Change per turn is going to be up, yes. That should kick off a Waaagh now. And so while we're in the area, I am going to sack this for more cash. And we've got the Ruby Ring of Ruin, which is also alliterative as well as quite fantastic at slinging damage at our foes. And so it looks like it gives us the Magic Missile Fireball spell, which isn't too bad, actually. It's an okay spell. I found that a lot of the spell casting in this game tends to be a little bit muted by comparison to some of the physical stuff that you can do, simply based upon the fact that I think they found that it might have been overpowered in, like, inside testing. I don't know. I haven't been really impressed with the magic spells so far. Like, they're alright. Don't get me wrong. They're good. They're just not, like, that good. I'll give him one more turn, then we'll put him in at Karaza Karak to get his fightiness up. He'll raid for a little bit, make us a little bit of extra cash money Skrillzas. Over here, we've got 2 population, or we can take Black Crag up to level 5, which is probably not a terrible choice. We've got Boar Chariots, Orc Boy Biggins, okay. Obedience is still kind of hurting over here. Why is Obedience hurting? Events. That's kind of generic. What does events mean? It might just be him. Is this part of the same territory as Valaya Sorrow? It's not. Alright. Oh shit, I don't know what to do with some of this. Oh, it's Chaos Corruption that's probably causing some of it too. Yikes. I really need some of my guys to come back and... I'm sorry, I need my little assassin guy to come back. Is that a minor territory? Okay. That's a minor settlement. We've managed to steal a lot of money from these areas, which is great. And that's going to build up grudges for the dwarves too. The dwarves have this thing called the grudge meter. Where basically anytime anybody hits them, in dwarvish society, you can't let a slight go. You have to settle it. It has to be settled. And so they have these guys that travel around dwarfish society who help mediate disputes and duels and things like that to, like, bury grudges. Well, when another race attacks you and causes a grudge, it's the exact same thing. You can't sleep at night. It makes you anxious that that grudge hasn't been taken over, and it makes people antsy in the pantsy about following you as a dwarf leader. So what are you going to do? Stone Mine's still taking -10. I may have to come back down here and actually fight off a rebellion pretty soon, though. In fact, I can virtually guarantee you that's what's going to have to happen down here. Let's make some money right there. And I'm going to have him travel southwards in our territory to come babysit some of these regions over here that are not doing so well with regards to their public order. And when the rebellion kicks off, it looks like it's in this eastern zone. We'll go ahead and take care of it. He can go up to level 3 right now. We do have a port. It looks like they're busy fighting with top knots right now. If we get a Waaagh, I may fight them in this territory just to wipe out their armies first before I start sweeping all their territory and taking it from them. We could probably turn this around. I think we've got a decent chance of turning it around. It's just, it's going to be a lot. Gonna be a lot to focus on. We have an army that's being raised up here. He's all done recruiting on that side. My suggestion would then be that we take a couple stacks of biggins, a couple stacks of black orcs, and then from there we'll focus pretty heavily on... Oh, we've actually got cavalry too. Well then hold on there, chief. Got goblin wolf riders, which are pretty good. Orc boar boy riders. Yeah, give me some of them. And some wolf riders. And that sounds pretty good. If we've got cavalry, we would actually be able to fend for ourselves pretty well versus some of the other factions, especially the dwarves, who are incredibly weak to intelligent cavalry play. Like, if you play cavalry smart, you shouldn't have too many issues playing dwarves, or being up against dwarves anyways.
What you want?
Oh, mighty lord, the fates have surely selected you for greatness. Thanks to my guidance, your tremendous power grows, as if driven by some divine power. Your enemies tremble before you.
I like trembling, associated trembling. Mork says it's time to fight. Waaagh the Slaughter has called up a Waaagh. Good. A Khan from the Blasted Waste has crossed through Death Pass and laid waste to parts of your territory. No! You little Chaos Gits is gonna get... They call him the Spiky Gits. You Spiky Gits! That's what they call him, the Spiky Gits. The momentum shifts as the Orc realms expand. The Dwarves quail, the Empire shudders, and even the forces of Chaos stutter as the green... Well, the stutter was pre-existing, though. That's a medical problem. That's not... It's not his fault. So we have a Waaagh now. We have a Waaagh, which means that I'm going to hit this over here. We're going to auto-resolve it, and we're going to start taking some of these territories now. I'm going to occupy. It's probably going to have really bad public order right now. But what can you do about it? Sometimes you got bad public order. That's how life goes. We can't put in a boss's tent until next level. So instead, let's just siphon off as much cash from this place as we can before it inevitably fails. And then we'll come back over, we'll hit Dringo Rakas, and then we'll hit Crooked Fang Fort. Basically, we're just going to sweep across with this Waaagh and cause a lot of trouble for our enemies. A lot of trouble. For you up here, sir. Let's get you ready to fight off this rebellion, which is definitely coming. Could probably use... Well, he's got some cavalry. Not a lot, but we could probably use some more. He's building up on this side, which is actually really, really good, because once we have a big army up here, we might be able to get a secondary Waaagh going against the forces... How many turns does he have until his fightiness hits 40? He's got 4 turns until he needs to take care of fightiness and, like, be a little bit better. I can send him into... We're not at war with them, though. We are at war with them. They do have some pretty considerable armies. The AI does cheat its finances. I've noticed, like, small territories with, like, 1 castle will have, like, 3 armies running around their territory, fully stocked and fully wielded, and so I'm pretty sure they cheat their finances to keep them from just, like, folding really, really badly whenever things get rough, at least on the AI part, but I can't tell you 100% how that all works. We have damaged buildings in Death Pass. Small drain in finances right there. We'll also start upgrading some of this stuff so that we can do better. Although, that can only hit level 3, so I can probably get rid of that idol now without having to worry about it too much. Especially since that one's already hit level 3. We should probably do something else over here. I think. And it makes your replenishment rate faster. But it strikes me as being pointless once you fully have this grown and fully upgraded, keeping that standing. It just doesn't seem to be that helpful to my eye. And then Waaagh the Slaughterer has himself 1 more level, which I will probably put into, oh, I don't know, something like Foe Seeker would be good. Get on with it, so that makes him better at... That makes him a little bit better at charging, although not that much better. Not better enough to make me, like, consider it for selection. He finished off Savage, he's got Deadly Blades. Devastating Charge would probably be the next place I would take. Let's make his weapon strength a little bit stronger, too. Because he's gaining, like, what, 7% right there, which means that, yeah, he should get a pretty good, almost 35 extra weapon strength per click off that one, which would be really, really nice. Club of Mork's chosen, so that should be up on the next turn. He's got himself a level up, but we'll bring him in as kind of a support minion. We'll try and encircle these places until he comes in. Then we'll get him as a support troop while we fight with some of these areas. We should be replenishing over here in Spite Peak, and that's going to be the end of our turn. We are out of time for the day. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here at the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Total Warhammer. They really missed out on that name. They missed out hard. I will see you all next time. Thanks for stopping in. Hi to everybody, and I'll see y'all later.